Hello and welcome to the Nourish and Strengthen podcast. This is episode 54. Guys, we are on episode 50 freaking 4. Like, what the heck? It's been a year. It has been a year since we've had this podcast, and I have a huge giveaway. Huge giveaway today on the podcast. I am giving away a free month of elite coaching, a completely free month, no strings attached. We'll get you going, we'll get you onboarded, we'll get you started on with those goals, a free month. Okay? But here's the catch. I'm not going to tell you how to enter until the end of the podcast because I want you to listen to the whole thing because this is a very important podcast I have for you guys today. So, are we in agreement? You're going to listen to this podcast. It's not going to be super long. Don't worry. I like to keep them short. And then I'm going to tell you how and where to enter for your free month of elite one-on-one coaching. Okay? Okay, are we in? All right, you guys. Today we're talking about why I don't like meal plans. Why I don't like meal plans. I know that it's so easy for us to just be like, just tell me what to do. If you can just tell me what to do, then I'll do it and I'll see results and everything will be right in the world. But here's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to tell you guys why that is not the best approach to your nutrition and your fitness journey and why that is going to set you up to fail. Okay. Not only is it not ideal, but it's literally going to set you up to fail. So that's what we're going to talk about today. Okay. And it's kind of like that, the old phrase, if you give a man a fish, you feed him for the day, or what I don't know the exact words. Teach a man to fish, feed him for life, right? That is what we like to do here at Moxie. We want to feed you for life. Okay. We want to teach you and empower you how to plan your own food, how to reach your goals, and most of all, even more so than reaching your goals, is how to maintain them forever. Because I mean, if I'm being totally honest, I don't really care about helping you lose the 20 pounds, okay? If you're going to gain it right back, because that yo-yo of the gain and the loss and the weight gain and the weight loss is going to mess with your metabolism. It's going to mess with your hormones. It's going to mess with your mindset. It's going to make you feel like you just can't do this, right? I am only interested in helping you reach those goals if you are going to maintain it, okay? So let's just go ahead and jump right in. So is there some validity, some good aspects of meal plans? Sure. I'm going to talk about that as well, but I want to just kind of dive right in. So I'm going to talk about my history with meal plans first. Then we're going to go into why I don't like them. I actually have 10 reasons. I know it's a lot. I'm telling you, 10 reasons why I don't like meal plans. And then we're going to go into what the better option is and what you should do instead. So don't worry. I'm not just going to be like, don't do this and then not tell you what to do instead. I'm going to tell you what to do instead, okay? And of course, we're going to finish it up with telling you exactly where and how to enter my giveaway for a free month of coaching. Okay, my history with meal plans. You guys might have heard this story. I talked about it in a previous episode, so I won't go into all the detail here, but my very first meal plan I ever got with a coach was in 2010, and it was a prep coach. I was competing at the time, and it was a competition prep meal plan. And I remember it had tuna fish for breakfast. Now, if you remember this story, I'll be quick, just kind of recapping here. But I remember seeing that meal plan. I was paying this guy $35 a month. Let's just throw that out there. You get what you pay for sure. And I remember getting that meal plan in my email, and I was like, so motivated, so excited. I was like, just tell me what to do and I'll do it type of attitude, right? And I saw like 5 ounces of tuna for breakfast. And I was like, wait, like there's no mayo, there's no bread, what am I supposed to do? Like literally open a can of tuna and eat it with a fork? Like, ew, barf, gross, right? And that was my first experience with like, wait, how am I supposed to follow a meal plan if I don't like the foods that are on it? And like, I actually do like tuna. I actually like tuna a lot, but I like it with some sort of a spread and I like it on something, and I don't want it at 6:30 in the morning, like for crying out loud, right? So that was my first experience with meal plans. And I was kind of like, it's actually really difficult when you say, tell me what to do and I'll do it. And then they tell you what to do and you're like, oh, but I don't want to do that. That's going a little bit too far, right? So my next experience, I had another coach. I was still competing. It's a couple years, maybe a year later, and he did his meal plans a little differently, and it really worked for me. But looking back on it, it was really more of like a type of macro tracking. So it was more of a meal template with foods that I love. So he asked me on my intake form what foods I liked. I chose the foods. He put those on my plan, and you could swap out foods. So, for example, if there was chicken in your lunch, you could swap it out for any other protein. If there was rice with your dinner, you could swap it out for any other carb. And so this was back in 2011. So nobody was really doing macros at that time, right? Of course, coaches tracked macros, and I mean, I assume they did. I did at the time, but people, the mainstream clients, everyday folk, we were not tracking macros. That came more like 2015, 16, 17. Okay. And so this was my first experience of like, oh, wait, I can actually plan my food and have foods that I love and enjoy. And that I was able to get behind. Really, that's macro tracking, right? So why do people say, well, actually, let me kind of go back. So I took that experience of like, oh, okay, maybe meal plans aren't so bad, right? And I started doing programs. When I was with Ideal Fit, you guys that are listening, you probably know this. I had, my 15-day challenge, my 6-week challenges, all the different challenges that I did, they came with meal plans, right? Those meal plans took me for forever to make. So they were very extensive. And some people who do our coaching now, we do have a meal plan in our coaching now, which, I'll get into why we do that in a minute. But it is more of an example meal plan without all the recipes and all the detail, because those plans for challenges took me months to put together. It is not easy to put together that type of a meal plan, especially for all the different recipes I tried to work in and all the different things. But here's what happened with that. So people came to the program and they were like, tell me what to do and I'll do it. That whole thing. People did it and they saw great results and they loved it. But then what happened? It's the then that I'm worried about. It's the after that I'm concerned about. So it is not sustainable to follow a meal plan forever. So they stopped following the challenge. They stopped following the meal plan. And you can probably guess what happened. They gained all their weight back and more. And so what do they think they have to do? They have to go back to the meal plan. They have to go back to the program, to the challenge or whatever. And it was this constant cycle of I'm following a plan. I'm quote unquote on a program. Then I'm off the plan. I'm off the program. And then you gain the weight back. And then you're like, well, now what do? I got to go back on the plan. That is not what I want for you guys long term. That is like the epitome of people saying, quote, diets don't work. Why do people say this? Because they go on a program, on a quote unquote diet, a plan, they see results, they go off. They gain the weight back. They go back on the plan. Literally, guys, that's what people mean when they say diets don't work, because that is not sustainable lifestyle change, because there's some very important things missing. And I'm going to talk about that actually going on right here in this next section. But there is no education. There is no teaching you how to be successful long-term. Okay. So let's just jump right in. I got 10 reasons for you about why I don't like meal plans. Okay. And number one is just what I was talking about right now. They don't teach you what to do. Okay. You just blindly follow. You get this meal plan and you're like, oh, I love these foods. This is awesome. I'm going to eat them. And then you do it. And then at some point you get sick of it. At some point you're sick of the meal prep. You're sick of following a plan. You are run out of groceries. You want to go out to eat, but you don't have the education to plan your own food. You don't have the education to know how to go to a restaurant and order something that is still in line with your goals. And so when those times come and you go off track, you throw in the towel because you don't know what to do. Okay. So number one, no education. They don't teach you those lifelong skills of how to plan your own food. Okay. Number two, they don't allow for spontaneity. Okay. What if you're out of groceries? We woke up this morning today out of a bunch of groceries and I had to change what I wanted to eat a little bit because I didn't realize we ran out of groceries. So what happens if you want to go out to eat? Your girlfriend invites you out to lunch. You don't have room for those last minute life things that will happen. And so what does happen if you're stuck on following a meal plan and those times come up? You throw in the towel. You say, okay, I'm going to go out to eat with my friend because we don't want you living a life where you can't do things like that. but then you don't know how to track it. You don't know how to work it in. All of a sudden you're like, oh, I'm off track for today. And you throw in the towel and you eat all the cookies because you're going to get back on track tomorrow. Okay. Have you guys felt that before? Number 3, there's no room for cravings or just what you feel like eating. Daily preference changes. You're stuck to what's on the plan if you want to, quote unquote, follow the plan, even if that's not what you want to eat. Okay. And you know what that's going to do? That's going to lead to less satisfaction from your food and more binging. Okay. There is a way where you can plan your food in advance and learn how to do that, but also have the freedom and flexibility to be like, you know what? I don't feel like having that right now. I actually want this other thing that is very similar, but it's not what's on my plan. And that's what's going to make me feel satisfied today. Okay. Do you guys ever feel like you have more cravings for sweets, like around your period or something like that? Following a meal plan means you have to stick to what's on the paper, no matter what you want to do. Okay. No room for preferences, right? Number 4, this is a big one. Following a meal plan makes you always have to rely on someone else or a coach. I know that's a weird thing for me to say because my business is a coaching business, but I do not want you to always need a coach. I don't want you to always need us. Okay. We all feel strongly our coaching team feels so strongly that we want to teach you what to do. We want to equip you and give you the habits and the education for life. And we want to graduate you from our program so that you don't need us forever. Okay. If you feel like you always need us to tell you what to do, we feel like we didn't do a good job for reals. So following a meal plan makes you always need that meal plan because you don't know how to do it without the meal plan. Okay. Number 5, I kind of actually hit on this a little bit, but there's no room for hormonal changes in appetite. Actually, no, I had a different thought here. For example, you guys probably know, the week before and of your period, around there, right? You're hungrier. You have more cravings. Actually, your metabolism is a bit higher. That's why you're hungrier. The week after your period, you might not have ever put this together, but your appetite does go down. You are satisfied easier. You're not as hungry. Okay. And so there is still a reason you still want to hit roughly the same macros throughout that time of your cycle, but you can make changes where, on the hungrier weeks, you're eating higher volume foods. On the weeks where you're not as hungry, you're eating lower volume foods. And that's a fun little way to add in that flexibility. But if you're following a meal plan, you might have this really high volume meal that has lots of veggies and lots of good healthy foods, but you're just not very hungry for it. You're like, I just don't really feel like eating that. I'd rather have some peanut butter on a rice cake or something where it's like I can have a less volume of food, but the same macros, or vice versa. You might have a week where you're super hungry and the volume of food on your meal plan is low and you're like, I'm just more hungry than that. It doesn't allow for those changes. Number 6, it removes autonomy. Following a meal plan removes autonomy. So most of us don't want to be told what to do. We're adults. We're like, don't tell me what to do. Even though you might say, I want you to tell me what to do, you don't. Most of us don't, okay? With a meal plan, you're living off this set of rules and someone else is saying, don't eat this, only eat this, okay? What is that going to do for most people? That's going to make us want to do the thing that we're not supposed to do, okay? If someone says, you can't have this, most of us are going to be like, but that's what I want. It's kind of like telling you, don't think about a pink bus. What just came into your mind? A pink bus. Don't eat any chocolate. Oh, but I actually want chocolate, but it's not on my meal plan, so I can't have it, right? So silly. Number 7, with a meal plan, following a meal plan, it is so easy to go into a blind follow mode. So what does this mean? This means you're not even really paying much attention to what you're doing. I can't even tell you guys I competed for so many years. I met so many friends who were competitors that actually knew nothing about nutrition. And I was like, what? I don't understand. You've been competing for 5 years following very strict nutrition plans. How do you know nothing about what you're doing? And they're like, I just do what I'm told. It's like we put up these blinders when we are told exactly what to do, where you kind of turn your brain off and you go into this robot mode of just doing what you're told, which might be good for results now, but it's actually horrible for maintaining those results down the road. Okay. You have to stay present in your nutrition journey and pay attention and learn. When you track your macros, it puts you in a much better position to really learn how to do this and learn how to manage your nutrition, plan your own food, because you're a big girl. You can do it. You don't need someone to tell you what to do. Okay. Number 8, following a meal plan, for some people, it might be too much all at once. Okay. It might be way different than what you're doing. There's too many habits you might have to change all at once. Like, usually some level of meal prep is involved when you're following a meal plan. Maybe you're going from no veggies to eating a whole bunch of veggies on this meal plan. Maybe you're going from very low protein to eating very high protein. These are all different habits that, to be most successful, you should cultivate slowly. Okay. If you just throw a meal plan, if I just throw a meal plan at you and it's drastically different from what you've been doing, you're probably going to rebound and binge and not be successful with it long term. Okay. So, too many habit changes all at once. Number 9, meal plans are truly a short term solution. Okay. They're not scalable for life. You can't do this forever. I mean, I guess unless you want to pay for it forever, me as a fitness coach, I don't want you to need a coach forever. I want to empower you to understand how to do this for yourself. Okay. So, meal plan, very short term solution. And number 10, lack of variety. So, it's impossible. I feel like sometimes people will say they want a meal plan, they want like a 7-day meal plan, or they want a 14-day meal plan, but you don't truly think through what that means. If I gave you a meal plan that was different foods, a different plan on Monday, a different plan on Tuesday, a different plan on Wednesday, and so on and so forth, guys, first of all, your grocery bill would be outrageous. Your food waste would be insane. Your meal prep would be so overwhelming. Like, there is so much involved in like day-to-day meal plan changes that you might think you want that, but I promise you, you don't. I promise you. Okay. So, what is the alternative? The alternative is having the same meal plan every single day, right? And that works for a lot of people, but that really lacks in variety. Okay. If you have the same plan you're following every single day, there's no room for changes here and there. Okay. Where in macros, you can follow pretty much the same thing, the same bare bones day to day, but you can make these swaps that are super easy to build in. They don't cost a lot more money. They don't take a lot more meal prep time. And they're just much easier to manage. Okay. So hopefully I've gotten you on the train of like why meal plans suck, why we don't like them, right? So let's talk about a better option. You probably know where I'm going with this. And if you think I'm going to say tracking your macros is the better option, you are halfway correct. Halfway correct. So here at Moxie, guys, what we do is we do modified macro tracking. So what is that? That means we are tracking just your calories and protein. For probably 95% of our clients, that works perfectly. There are that 5% where we do need to track all 3 macros for maybe it's health reasons. If there's a reason why you need to be lower carb because of your blood sugar, insulin, anything like that, there might be reasons why you need to do that. But for most of our clients, tracking calories and protein is plenty. There's a lot of research that shows, we know that to lose fat, we have to be in a calorie deficit, right? That's controlled by calories. And then in order to make proper body composition changes, so we make sure we maintain our muscle, you need to hit a certain amount of protein. But beyond that, there's been so much research that shows it doesn't really matter if the rest of your calories come from carbs or fat. Okay. So tracking just calories and protein is amazing for food freedom and flexibility because you're not sitting there at the end of the night thinking like, okay, I got one more meal left and crap, I'm hit my protein, or I mean, that's probably not likely for most people. Maybe I've hit my fats, but I'm under in protein and over in carbs. And, I'm not sure how to hit these macros. It just makes it a lot harder. You probably have heard the term macro Tetris. That's what that's referring to. Just that kind of like, I don't know where to go. I don't know what to eat now. It makes it really, really hard. Okay. But where you're just tracking calories and protein, it allows you to, if you're craving more fat, sometimes you can have a higher fat and a low carb day. Maybe the next day you want more fruit or something. You can have more carbs and less fat. By nature of tracking calories, your carbs and fats both won't get too high because your calories are controlling that. Okay. So it really, really allows for working your favorite foods, truly. And it allows for you to look at it as like, these are guidelines, not rules. There is no amount of don't eat this, you have to eat this. It's just guidelines. If you're focusing on fiber as well, that's going to ensure that your carbs are coming from healthy places. Protein, calories, fibers, these are guidelines. Okay, not hard and fast rules of what you can and can't eat. And because it's those hard and fast rules of don't eat this that lead you to binging. Okay. It also uses your personal authority. You know what foods you love. You do. You know what foods you feel best eating and what kind of recipes you enjoy preparing. You don't want someone else to tell you what to do. You don't want someone else saying you got to eat this food every day, but you're like, well, I mean, yeah, I can eat avocado every day, but I really like cheese. Like, why can't I have that more often? Using your personal authority is so empowering when it comes to learning how to reach your goals in a way that you chose your foods. Okay. So you are empowered in managing those food choices, and you can do that long term, forever and ever. Okay. And then one last reason why modified macros is so awesome is you can have that spontaneity. You can make changes on the fly. You can eat out because you have so much freedom with, get your protein in, right? Get your protein in, stick to your calories. Beyond that, like, do what you want. Do what makes you feel good. I love it. I love it. Last section here, best way to implement this. Okay. Couple tips on tracking your modified macros. Planning your food in advance. Okay. In our coaching program, we teach you how to do this. We walk you through exactly how to plan food in advance, what to do. But you guys, you are not going to wing it. I mean, you are not going to be successful, I should say, if you just wing it, especially in the beginning. Maybe down the road you will be, but for everyone, it's going to be so beneficial to take even 10 minutes. Once you get good, it'll take you 5 minutes. No joke. The night before, plan your foods tomorrow. Think about, what foods you have on hand, what breakfasts you're feeling like, what maybe you have leftovers of something, and really plan your food based on what you have. Okay. Your coach doesn't know what foods you have in your fridge. So this is way better. So plan in advance, but be open to swaps. Okay. So maybe you plan your food for tomorrow, for today, the night before, and then lunchtime comes or a snack time comes and you're like, I don't really feel like having that. I want to have this instead. That's totally fine. You have your whole day planned. Just go into your app, delete the meal you planned, plug in the meal you want, tweak the amount so that your macros are still good, and you're golden. Super easy, right? A grocery shop based on the plan, but also buy some of your favorites on hand. So planning your food in advance, maybe on the weekend, you plan like what dinners you're going to make your family. You plan what snacks you want. Maybe you have the same lunch all week. Maybe you have the same breakfast, whatever it is, but grocery shop for some of your favorite foods too, so that you do have the option to swap things in and out based on what you're feeling like that day. Another tip here, make your veggies freebies. Guys, don't track your veggies. We don't have our clients track their veggies. I never tracked veggies when I was competing. I know they have calories. Okay. I've gotten a little bit of people coming at me like, well, how come you're not tracking your veggies? They have calories. I know that. But I have yet to find someone who binges on veggies. And I have yet to have a client. We've worked with over 1,000, probably 2,000 women by now. I don't even know. But I've never had someone not reach their goals because they ate too many veggies. I just haven't seen it. Okay. And it's really nice mentally to have one food group that can be a freebie, that you don't have to sit and track how much iceberg lettuce, how much spinach, how much cucumber, how much bell pepper, how much of this and that did I have. It's so nice to have the freedom to be like, oh, I'm hungry. I'm feeling munchy. I want to chew on something, but my macros are kind of hit for the day. I've got it all planned. So I'm going to go cut up some bell pepper, cut up some cucumber, cut up some celery, whatever it is. So you can still have that. And yes, it has calories. It also has amazing fiber. You want to be able to include vegetables, okay, and their amazing vitamins and minerals, as many as you want, okay? Fifth thing, best way to implement this, guys, hire a coach. Hire a coach to teach you how to implement this in your life. So you can buy courses, you can buy books, you can watch YouTube videos or Instagram reels, but there is nothing that compares to having a coach you, your body, through all the phases of your journey and teach you how to approach your macros in every phase, meaning habit creation, fat loss, reverse dieting, maintenance, all the different phases, muscle building, if that's a goal of yours, how to manage your macros in all the phases. I promise you, you will come out of that experience knowing everything you need to know to live the rest of your life managing your fitness goals. Okay. So much better. There's so much power in having a coach teach you for your body, not just like, oh, here's a generic formula that might work. Try it. And then maybe try to drop 100 calories and see if that works. No, having a coach that knows what they're doing, that can tweak things for you based on your goals and go through all those phases with them. Hint, this is exactly what we do in our metabolic reboot system here at Moxie Coaching. Is gold. It's priceless. Okay. So that's a great segue into our giveaway of 1 month of elite coaching. You guys ready for this? I'm going to tell you how to enter. Okay. I want you to go to one of 3 places. You get to choose: Instagram, Facebook on my Trainer Lindsay page, or Facebook in the Fat Loss Secrets Facebook group. Any one of those places, there is going to be a giveaway post, and it will say in bold capital letters, actually I can't do bold on posts, capital letters, giveaway post. But it's not going to tell you right there how to enter. I'm telling you this right now. I want you to comment on that post with your favorite food. Okay? Comment with your favorite food, one food. If there is one food that I would take away from you and you would be so sad, or if there's one food that you just need to have in your life, and it doesn't have to be healthy. It can be whatever you want. It can be bring you joy through your emotions or through how you feel, however you want. Your favorite food, comment on that post, and that's going to get you entered to win. It's that simple, guys. If you want an extra entry to really kind of up your chances, share this podcast, okay? Or the giveaway post, either one. Just share about this giveaway to your stories and tag me, okay? If you don't tag me, I might not see it. Okay. Also, a tip, it's easier for me to see tags on Instagram. I don't know why. I miss them a lot on Facebook. It's just Facebook's weird, right? Okay. So go to the giveaway post, comment with your favorite food. You'll be entered to win. And then also go and share it for an extra entry. So hope you guys enjoyed this podcast episode. It is our 1 year anniversary, and let's give away a free month of coaching. Let's change somebody's lives right now. All right, guys, hope you have a wonderful week, and I'll talk to you next week.